intersectionality has to be seen, that is with caste, with the other, and with Brahminical patriarchy. Brahminical patriarchy and expansion of the Brahminical patriarchy. It was really part of the problem could have been solved in women, and there is the complexity of women also. Women also accept this, that there is a better race of male children. That is, so they are also, that is also the complexity in maintaining patriarchy. But there is a colonization of mind. We were colonized, we know well that this has continued for long years, that if there is a person of better race, he or she is considered more intellectual, more analytical than a Indian would be, a kind of thing. And I have seen in the caste terms also. So thing in gender terms. Why we have not looked at women's land and property right? There is a hesitance. It's still in the civil society, and I am very much in support of the civil society. I am not outside of it. That we go on joint rights, we don't go on collective rights, we go on productivity by leasing rights, and so on and so forth. But we are not addressing in terms of as individuals, as a farmer, as economic right to that productive on the factors of the production. She also has the right to the land if she cultivates that land. That needs to be addressed. So what is happening at the local level in the UP study, coming back to it, two things have happened. Serious violence and corruption has been addressed by the Kulabi gang, and you know well, and we can take it in the question answer. And second is the transfer of land which we are talking. And these are the small farmers. And very much willingness, father-in-law, now sometimes not trusting the sons and transferring land to women. So when we don't have any precise figures. So it may be 10%, according to FAO, it may be more, it may be less, but we need to be really understanding that. So I wanted to say that nationalizing really means taking the matter at the community level, but first we need to understand what kind of communities we have. Are these communities gender inclusive? How many communities in Tamil Nadu and Haryana and Western UP where I come from? I know 3 states where the traditional panchayats have been very anti-women. That is the system that we do. We need to learn, sensitize communities. I am not against communities, but giving everything to community and with regard to the women's empowerment and gender equality does not really solve the problem. Thank you.
Go to the next one. Bindian.
Thank you very much. I do have a PowerPoint presentation, but looking at the time constraint, I would rather use points that I have with me, and if anybody wants the presentation can access it later. Thank you, Chairperson, and thanks to the partners and friends of mine who have given us opportunity to speak our opinions and views related to it. We represent an organization called Family Planning Association of India, which is a national level organization working in the field of sexual and reproductive health and rights, including family planning and HIV. Why I add? Because very often the notion that family planning is something different and SRH is a complete component. So talking from the view of health as perspective, looking at it from the global to the national component, and what are the critical areas to focus on. We all agree that it is a very important pillar. Health, when we talk about health in perspective of human development and well-being of a person, we include the whole component of gamut of material, psychological, social, cultural, education, work, environmental, political and personal security as an important elements, although they are independent but interrelated to each other. And when we look at also the Millennium Development Goals, the 8 goals that are already there, and when we look at the Sustainable Development Goals, which has 17 goals, health plays an important role in each and every aspect of the goal. So if we are talking in the frame of health for all, we need to be critique at looking at how are these areas helping us in achieving the health component. And to coin the component, as my earlier speaker did talk a lot about the component of health, women's issues, and taking it further from there, the first international conference on population and development did bring about the coined term of sexual and reproductive health per se, the component of male involvement, male as an individual and male as part of family and society in bringing about change. And we need to look at, which was an ideology, a global commitment. But the Millennium Development Goals was a plan of action of bringing those ideologies into perspective of implementation. But that too, when we had the review, very clearly it does not have very specific indicators to look at what sort of an outcome and progress. I don't deny that there is no progress. There has been a progress. And if you look at, we talk about countries saying South Asia region, even India is a young country, but the whole component of aging and health issues are not talked about much. We need to look at it from that perspective also. And when we review the whole health component and MDGs from goal 3, 4, 5, A and B and 6 of making progress, as I said earlier, it did make progress. There has been a fertility decline. There has been promotion of education component, reducing the epidemic of HIV, but at the same time, we have been listening to speakers who are talking about poverty alleviation. Not much progress. There has been progress, but not as one wanted it. Eradicating hunger, improving maternal health. But still, when it comes, it is an inequitable progress for the poor, vulnerable, and hard to reach populations. That needs to be accepted and we need to work on that aspect. And when we see publications, there are a lot of publications and documents that have been coming up on governance, health issues, gender equality, children, private sector participation, green goal. But when we talk about the health goal, it needs to be achieved health. When we are talking well-being for all age groups, there must be a realization of sexual and reproductive health and rights component. So when I'm talking about sexual and reproductive health, I'm not just talking about physiology or anatomy per se, but I'm talking about information giving and counseling as a cross-cutting component, but related to other services of sexual health. It's relationships, the rights component with these all relationships, contraception, safe abortion care, gynecological care, perinatal and postnatal care, STIs and RTIs, HIV/AIDS, sexual and gender-based violence, male sexual and reproductive health. It covers the whole gamut of human beings, whether it's a child, a male, or a woman. We have seen initiatives, I would say there have been initiatives recently in the independence speech by the Prime Minister talked about water and sanitation component of having toilets, and also the National Assurance Mission to reduce out-of-pocket spending on healthcare by common citizens, and commitment made at international fora and treaties. We need to look at it from a gender lens, which should be objective, and also consider economy, social and environment as a base. I would like to summarize my talk in looking at what has been the gains, which are already gains when we are talking about significant reduction in mortality and ill health. Of course, the technologies are going to come in, which is going to lead up a change. And also there are investments one could make in capacities and infrastructure and skills. But also there are deficits. Investment in community development. That's why there is a lack of ownership, there is a lack of accountability component missing at overall. And how would you sustain when it is all investments of time-bound components? There is behavior change, but have we been able to change the factors, the socio-cultural factors that are there? Change of behavior is not only that. It's not only individual. You need to look at the community and society as a large to look upon it. And also the success about it is dealing with negative outcomes, and also gender-based violence has increased. So why are we not thinking of it as a preventive measure? And when the need arises, when we talk about it, why do we not take a curative measures on certain diseases of ourselves? And also very often we look into statistics and data only in project. Why don't we bring about or project a qualitative change? Why don't we narrate stories in a different form, or not just project in the form of statistics per se? So what can be the next steps when we are looking at the scenario from the gamut of sexual and reproductive health and rights? First of all, we need to look into a common language. As we have been listening to speakers who have been talking about that civil society momentum has brought about a lot of change in India. They have played in the history a very major role. But the involvement, we do make certain involvement at the country level. But when it goes to attending conferences of UNGA or Commission on Status of Women, the whole country level is led by power and ambition. So the diplomatic language comes in, the trade and economic, but addressing the common needs of people, garnering support for the whole component or issue at large takes a back step. So there needs to be a commonality that when we are talking as a country level, and also often we have civil societies as representatives as part of the country team. But often, sad to say, they are taken more as tokenism. They are not allowed to involve in the negotiations that are taking place. They are staying as an outsider, as a silent role often. So we need to look into that, and also at the policies, why do we involve civil society organizations when it comes to implementation of a plan, when it comes to monitoring of a plan, when it wants to review, but why not in the planning and designing itself? That needs to be also looked at that component. And we need to look at sexual and reproductive health and rights as a development agenda. Until we continually reiterate this, and we will not achieve health for all, as we call about, for all age groups. We need to review things as everybody has this shared, look at where we are and how do we move ahead. Look at components and indicators of result based rather than not just linking it to a process or an input component. That needs to be done. We need to look into not short-term strategies, but at the same time build up for long-term strategies. India with its population and component and health is linked with it. So we need to look into that. And also all this can be done when we talk from the rights-based component. And another aspect of civil society organizations, often it is seen that sharing of information, I'm not saying always we need a platform to share information. There are different medias or social media now that we can share information. We need that learning to take place. Rather than looking at it from a critical point of view of what it is not linked to us and things, let us learn and see what can be linked together. I conclude my talk that when we are looking at health models, we are looking at universal health coverage aspect. There are a lot of models related to it. But FPNs, IPPs strongly feel that it should be right-based. It should be participatory. A continuous right from when it is being coined itself. Otherwise, it is not enough and not for everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, and I think I'm the only one now between you and your team, so I'll try to compress whatever I have to say.
Any questions?
Okay. Okay, because we are already hitting 4:30.
Doesn't matter. I will talk to that. You go ahead.
Okay, great. Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. No, but still, I'll just be very brief. So, I joined Oxfam India very recently, but before that, for dates I was associated with this Vadana Todo Abhiyan. It's a network coalition campaign of over 4,000 civil society organizations, and it looks at ending discrimination, addressing poverty, social exclusion. Lataji is here. He is one of the conveners of the campaign. So we have been trying to kind of look at, as the Abhiyan, along with many other actors, including many other NGOs, many other movements in the country like Swasthya Abhiyan, Right to Education Forum, Right to Food, many other such movements. We all got together to try and influence the post-2015 development agenda. And in that, it's really nice to see that we are talking about nationalizing the sustainable development agenda, because that is what essentially we hopefully try to do through the engagement that we had as part of the network, as part of the Abhiyan. So although I've been asked to kind of focus only on governance and rule of law, I just also wanted to very briefly take you through some of the milestones in the process of the campaign and how it kind of evolved. So as you have also heard, Anisa also shared very briefly the process and talked about it. It has been a very dynamic process at the global level, and it was also quite consultative. So at the UN level, they tried to bring in national inputs which were fed largely from the community level. So we had a series of national consultations that were held at the country level, at community level, where there were smaller Jan Sunwai kind of small gatherings, and all of these then fed into a national report, which then was fed into to the UN Secretary General during this entire process, articulating what are the key demands and what are the key expectations from the community for the next 15 years. So in that, many of us were involved. Dattaji was one of the first to participate in the open working group discussion. So Anisa mentioned 13 sessions हुए थे, उसमें से 6th meeting में हो गए थे. Then Ranja was there, Ajay was there. Many others were actively involved. So in a sense, there was a way, there was a kind of an attempt that was done to link the national expectations and aspirations to the global level in terms of trying to see how much can we take our community aspirations to the global level. So to that extent it is there, but now we need to see how we can feed back at the national level, come back, talk to the government, which has also been the most difficult part till now. Coming to the goal 16, basically the rule of law governance issue. It is, again, it has been a very huge success for the new development agenda. And ek aur baat ki, right now it is still a recommendation. So it is not really clear whether we will have this or not in 2015. So ek aur saal ke baad we'll get to know whether these are actually going to stay or not. These 17 goals that are on the table with us right now. So goal 16 talks about, it does not have rule of law in its title, but it says access to justice. It says peaceful and inclusive societies for sustainable development, access to justice, build effective, accountable and inclusive institutions at all levels. So rule of law word yahan nahi hai, but then access to justice is a very welcome thing, especially for developing countries. Some of the, iske andar they have given 10 targets, and some of it is, in a sense they are welcome, but some are technically, there is mention, but then it's very watered down. It's really just saying rhetorical things without clarity in terms of targets, in terms of, how are you going to operationalize it. So just to give you some plus examples, the positives in there. So the third target, it talks about rule of law and access to justice for all. But that, then again, it does not really quantify how will they do, and they don't even say ensure, they just say promote. So promote is, okay, yeah, right, you are going to just promote it. And 16.4, that's again, chauथा target hai, it says, reduce illicit financial flows and arms flows, recovery and reduce of stolen assets, and bring down organized crime. Now these are almost like recommendations. Bring down, reduce illicit financial flows. So bahut sare, there have been many organizations that gave very concrete inputs, and there are standards now about how, what are the ways to just bring down into 0% financial flow, illicit financial flows, and how can we do that. So all those have really not been kind of taken on board, but it is there, the language is there. And the 8th target, it says, that's something that is very new and that has been pushed for by the Indian government. So although there are many positions that the Indian government has taken which are not really very welcome, and we have not really been favoring that position, but this one was really critical, and in that many of the networks also had a huge role to play, where they say that broaden and strengthen participation of developing countries in institutions of global governance. So it should not be the case that जैसे पिछले MDG framework में था that it was just IMF, World Bank largely dictating what the development policy frame should be in other countries. It should be that now it would be all the other countries also who are active participants and also decide in terms of what should be the policy agenda for the globe as a whole. Some of the critical misses are the private sector accountability question. So this has not come in at all under this goal. So this is something that we feel is very critical. Another thing is the whole issue of monitoring and oversight. Again, we have something on inclusive, accountable, systems of government, etc. But they don't really mention specifically monitoring and oversight. So that again is a clear miss, which again we think these are some points where we can continue to still talk to the national governments and try and see if they can build that in. And the whole issue of making governance accountability effective. Effective governance accountability is one thing, but making governance accountability responsive, which is about making the systems function and work for the most marginalized, that is again missing. And finally, the one big thing which is missing out of this goal, but it is there under the overall, it's there under another goal, is the data question. So when you're talking about making systems accountable, getting back illicit, recovery of stolen assets and all that, how are you going to do that? Where is the data system for that? So that again has not been really mentioned within this goal. So, while there are clearly some areas where we see that this definitely is a much more substantive framework as opposed to the MDG framework, but there are again very nuancing that needed to have been done that is missing out of this. So I think we can discuss if there's anything more. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I don't know what Ajay, what do you say about time? It's already 4:30. 4:30. Can we go on a little bit more? Take some questions. There's a discussion for half an hour.
1 hour.
Okay, is it 1 hour? Yeah, okay. So can we go on? I have a few questions as well.
We can have tea and then come back.
Okay, then before we close, I'd just like to make a few comments. So
I have a request because I will be leaving. There's some other coming.
She's leaving. Okay. Oh, but then,
Yeah.
if there are any questions of India, please raise your hand. Yes, come on. Just only for her, though, not for anybody else.
Sorry for the.
No, my question related to Govindji and Anisa.
No, then you'll have to wait. If you have a question, I'm sorry, but you'll have to wait. Please go, please come.
My voice is louder.
I want to ask you firstly in the India level about the ARP, the assisted reproductive technology, and what how it's being really pushed and the cost implication and what impact does it have on women, and whether when we talk about national